So I'm interested in this little scene here. I may change how the light comes through here just a little. It kind of goes back and around and then across here, which is fine. And then this tree just splits right down, not quite in the middle, but a little bit more off center. I like that though, there's something on both sides of this. So do I want to take and maybe angle this just a tiny bit and angle that just a tiny bit? I could. Or I could paint it just the way, excuse me, I'm hiccuping, just the way that it is right there. I have to think about that. I think I'll try laying in just some marks to see how they do. We'll go from there. So first thing I'm going to do is get a little bit of burnt sienna onto this canvas here to give it a little bit of a tone. And then I'm going to lay this in a little darker burnt sienna. My Stay Wet palette that I use my palette paper on. I just peeled off the old paper, took 2 seconds, no cleaning up needed. This stays wet for weeks, and you can put a little bit of clove oil in here and it will help to make sure that it stays wet. You just have your titanium white. There is cadmium yellow light, yellow ochre. I have a little bit of magenta here, a little bit of lavender. Over here is dioxazine purple. I have a blue, which is just ultramarine blue, and a little bit of burnt sienna. And then over here I have a couple of colors I may or may not use. They're different greens. This is a light yellow green. This here is a phthalo green yellow. I have a little bit of gamblin for my medium if I want to. This is a medium that is scent free and mixes well with these water mixable oils. And then over here is a little bit of olive green. So these are just extra colors I don't need really. I can make them out of these, but for convenience sake they're over here. My little crank to open up my dried out bottles, and we can get going with just the basic concept just to see if we think that will work out. Just to start with, I'm going to just spray a little water on my canvas here. And then, hopefully, let me see, yeah, did I get it on my phone? Probably. And now I'm just going to dot here and there. I don't need much of this. There's no sense in using a brush. People waste so much time on trying to spread this out with a brush. So I'll get this all on and then wipe off most of it, and we'll go from there. What did that achieve? It just gave me a little bit of color in the background, which will warm up my painting. Some of this will poke through. It allows me to come in if I want to when I'm looking at my painting. And hold on, tonight. Yeah. For instance, I can darken where I want to. This is over just a little bit to this side, okay? Just want to get the concept of where this tree is in here. Okay, so just gives me an idea where I want everything to be. But what I like about it is if I want to, I can wet my brush, tap it off on my paper towel, and come in and lighten areas. Dark will be coming down there. And so you begin to see how the painting will kind of develop. Putting in just a little bit of blue in the sky right now. I'll come back and put these sky holes in better later. Ultramarine blue and burnt sienna make a beautiful brown. When you're painting trees and landscape, you don't have to do it exactly the way your photo looks or even the way nature looks when you're standing right outside. But a lot of the time, I take a picture because it is pleasing to me and I like the shape that I'm seeing, and so I try to follow that if I can, if I think it enhances my painting. I took this photo at the park this week when I was walking my dog over there, and I thought it was very pretty. I liked the way the light was shining. I would go over there and paint it in person, but between the rain, which we've had a lot of, and my puppy, who is not completely trained yet, he's a little rambunctious and doesn't want to sit still, it would be difficult to try to get it done outside. So what am I doing? I'm just laying in my lights and my mediums and my darks. Different shades of green, which seem to drive people crazy. I don't know why they have a hard time with greens, but you just have to remember, is it cool or is it warm? Is it farther back? Then it needs to be lighter and cooler. Is it coming forward? Then it needs to be warmer. And in some unusual circumstances, like in the very front of this painting, there are some very cool looking leaves, and I will probably paint them that way because that's how nature really does have them. I've added a little bit of water so that I can get a basic color down quickly, because unlike oil paint, I don't use turpentine. This is water mixable oils. So we use water as a medium, which dries quickly. And you can also use some Gamblin or some walnut oil or some of the oil that comes with the Cobra mixable oils. But sometimes plain old water works just great. I tried to work around my canvas so that the entire picture comes together at the same time, and I don't complete one side before the other. I've added just a little bit of lavender into the white here. And here and there's a little yellow or a little blue to simulate the sand that's on the ground here. I'll have to reestablish my sky again and go over everything again. Canvas is pretty much covered now, and I know where I want my lights and my darks. They might not be the exact colors I'm going to use, but I have my basic layout done. And from here, I can let this tack up a little if I want, or I can keep on painting. But I can look at it and decide if I like the concept. Do I need to move anything? Is it in the right places? And go from here. Just to show you, if I mess with the brilliance of this color, I can make it much brighter, but it also shows me where my light spots are. And if I want to, they're not really white. That's why when they come up more brilliant, they're more orange. If I mess with the brightness, I can make the darker areas darker, and it makes the lighter areas lighter. It just lets me know where I need to put my highlights. I can do this with saturation as well, by taking all of the color out and just looking at light and dark. And then if I make it even darker, you definitely see there's light shining through the sky, there's some reflection or light shining through on the trees and in this pathway here. And the rest is darker. This is medium and this is dark, dark. Basically have three different, of course there's probably thousands, but three basically with our eyes we can see the depth, this color, this color, and this color. So that helps you when you're trying to make your painting work out. You can squint your eyes and do the same thing. But if that's hard for you, you can use your photo editing to help you to remember where you need to put those highlights to make your painting work. It's coming along nicely. This is up a little higher than I want it to be because it's too close to the middle. I'm going to bring it down a little bit. Same thing with this here. I'm going to bring it right about there. But the rest I like. I think that's better. So now I'll start putting in a little bit of detail. I'm using a little dagger brush here, and it works very well for this because it's got very stiff bristles. Different shaped leaves down here in the corner than there are on the other side, which is more like palm fronds. Continuing to develop the back foliage, which is multiple colors. But basically, if you squint your eyes, mostly you'll have approximately 3 values in this painting: the mediums, the lights, and the darks. So even though they're different colors back there, they fall into the same value range, and they're lighter as they go back with less intensity, darker with more warmth and more intensity as they come forward. Generally speaking, they have more blue in them as they go back, and more warmth as they come forward. Even though those are shadowed areas, I saw them with my own eyes, so I'm not just looking at my photo. I know that I could see the plants that were inside those dark shadows. You may not see that in your photograph, which is why it's difficult to paint from a photograph and get a realistic look. But if you know that those bushes were there, you could see them, you have a pretty good idea of what color they were. You can make notations when you're taking your photos. That will help you when you're painting from a photograph later. Adding a little blue to differentiate between the underneath shadow of the plants and trees and the actual reflection on the ground. Reestablishing those sky holes now. Every artist has to know when to stop, so I think I've pretty much accomplished what I was trying to here. That tree is my center focal point, and it's very light sunshine on some of its branches, and hopefully the light throughout the painting kind of leads you toward the back where there is a spray of sunshine back there. But that tree is my main focal point. Hope you enjoyed this, everyone. And I will see you for the next one. Thank you again. And remember, you can paint too.